So hopefully when you hear this short message, you'll get some form of inspiration or motivation or just pure encouragement. Over the last 6 weeks, a lot of my friends, students, clients have kind of expressed a lot of difficulty, a lot of pain. Some have been fighting with cancer, some have been fighting just with everyday life, some have been fighting with just paying their bills, some loneliness, etc. And I thought, as I'm going away on Thursday, I thought, how could I reach them? How could I send them something that may encourage or may inspire or give them some positivity for tomorrow and maybe for this year? And I wanted to just leave them with just some basic things that have helped me in the last 4 or 5 years. And I say last 4 or 5 years because I had to restart again 4 or 5 years ago when I had East West Studios and I lost my academy. I had to restart from scratch again, and it's been a great learning curve for me because I had to literally start from zero, rebuild, get myself together and just motor on. And I feel that I'm in a good space to kind of to get this out there, So firstly, I want to say, whatever pain you're dealing with, pain is always uncomfortable. I know that. Some pain lasts more than others. Some have been there for a lot longer. There's different types of pain. The pain of not wanting to face tomorrow, or the pain of losing someone, or physical pain, emotional pain, mental pain, the loss of a friend. They're all challenging, but what I want to say is they all have one thing in common, that pain changes. It changes. No matter how long, it will change. And we all have that in common. And a lot of people, when they kind of they see pain, they tend to run away from it rather than accept it, embrace it, and then think, right, okay, I can deal with that now. I've got the pain, I'm in pain. And rather than kind of running away from that pain, it's better to accept it, sink into it and think, right, now I'm going to try and transform that pain. How though, you may ask? How is the key? Well, when I've been in any form of pain, I've always said to myself, the loss of my father was painful for me at a time that I needed a father. But you know what? I kind of I drew closer to the people that were around me at the time. So that's how I dealt with it. Physical pain, sometimes when you're dealing with injury, if you're an athlete, if you're a professional athlete, and a friend of mine who I train, he's pulled a hamstring, and the pain of wanting to play, you've got to be patient at that time. Or you might be in, the pain of loneliness. I want to say to you that even that pain is temporary. You might meet someone tomorrow. So how do you deal with pain? How do you transform it? You transform it by knowing, number one, it's temporary, and number two, sooner or later, just by redirecting your energy, that pain will change. So it's like this. If I said to you, look, you got a pain in the leg right now, but I redirect your focus and energy into something else. It might be something that you enjoy. You might be thinking, the pain of losing someone. And I say, okay, here's 2 tickets for the theatre. Go and have a great time. Just for those 2 hours, the redirection of your mind and energy will release you of that pain. And like I said, pain only lasts a while. It's like a Christmas card. You get a Christmas card and you put it on the shelf for a while and it has its time. Pain has its time. So I hope that if you're in pain, I hope that reaches you. So the other thing about pain is that I'm someone that has always believed in your dream. The things that, and I'm not talking about the American dream, I'm talking about your personal individual dream. The thing that makes you wake up in the morning, the thing that makes you go, yeah, this is what I really want to do, this is what I really want to live for. And it could be anything. It could be something creative, it could be you going to university, it could be something smaller than that. It could be, look, you know what, I like getting up and I like going and talking and meeting new people or discovering new places. It might be travel, whatever it is. That thing is bigger than your pain. So you see, however big your pain is, your dream, the very thing in the very substance of your dream that's inside you is bigger than your pain. And just by meditating on that dream, just by you going there, that dream will become bigger once again than your pain. And then as you meditate on that dream, that very thing that flicks your switch, the thing that makes you want to get up in the morning, you'll see that as that is magnified, your pain becomes smaller. Your pain it shrinks. And then as you begin to follow that dream again, because a lot of people, they leave their dreams because of pain, because of sorrow, and they don't want to kind of like, they throw everything else away that's valuable and precious. And what I want to say to you guys or girls is, get that dream living, breathe some life into that dream and watch it grow, and then start moving forward. Start taking small steps in that direction, and slowly but surely the pain will shrink. I promise you that. I promise you that. Okay? The other thing I want to say to you is, remember when you were a child. Remember the thing that you enjoyed most about life. And these are for the people that have lost maybe their zeal for living. These are for the people that maybe feel, oh, you know what? I had it once and I've lost it. That magical spark within me that I once had. And you might have had it in your 40s or your 30s or your 20s, but you've lost it. What is that thing? I've always said, I've said it to my kids, I've said it to my friends, it's the ability to discover something new. Everyone liked that. When you were a kid, when you were a child growing up, discovering new things was it. Whether it was discovering a new trick, or discovering a new instrument, or discovering a new song, or discovering a new language. Give yourself time to discover once again. Because I promise you that once that flick in your heart begins to open and you start to discover new things once again, you'll see the magic of life again. You'll feel that brightness of energy again. You'll feel that light within you begin to elevate. I promise you that. Discovery is something that keeps you alive. It keeps you young. It keeps you zealous. And it doesn't have to always be positive things. People always think, I need to discover something positive. No, sometimes discovering something negative helps you more than discovering something positive. Because if you discover something negative, for example, about yourself, and then you kind of let go of that negative, whatever it may be, you're going to feel a lot lighter once you deal with it. Let me give you an example. You're training, for example, and you discover that you got weak hamstrings. That's a good discovery. If you strengthen your hamstrings, what does that mean? That your overall leg's going to become stronger if you strengthen it. So discovering, full stop, is a really good thing. Don't forget that. This is for the people that say, no, why, you can't. You hear, it's in your mind, you hear, maybe you go down memory lane and you failed, or you looked at failure with the wrong eyes. So you every time you go to do something, or the same thing, you think, I'm not going there, it's too painful, I failed, I'm not going there, I'm not going to go and talk to a girl or a guy, I don't want to get rejected, I failed last time, so I don't want to go there because it's too painful. So you think, no, I can't do that. Well, you can do it. You really have to understand, you can do it. You might not get the reward that you're expecting, or you might not get the response that you're expecting, but you can do it, and you have to start understanding that. This is a very powerful thing. When I say you can, I'm saying you've got everything inside of you to do what you want to do. You might not achieve it at the level that you want to achieve it, but I'm telling you, you can do it. Don't stop trying. That's the thing. Because, some people get there. A friend of mine, when he was doing his driving license, he failed 4, 5, And on the 5th or 6th time, and I kept saying to him, just keep trying. It's tough, Steve. No, but keep going. Yeah, but I failed again. Yeah, and every time people heard he failed, it was like, oh, he's failed again. No, but just keep going forward. Keep moving forward. But I failed. But keep going. But I failed. But keep going. Until eventually he got it. So now that failure has built inside of him a level of resistance. So whatever this particular guy does now, whatever he does, if he fails, he says, well, I failed before. There's nothing wrong with that. I try. What about when you were a child? How many times did you, before you started walking, how many times did you slip, slide, fall? But you got up, you kept going. We all make mistakes. We all slip, we all slide. That's what living is all about. But you have to keep going forward. You have to keep giving yourself that opportunity to lose. It's okay to lose. The Spanish national football team are a great example of that. They were the nearly men of winning. They were the nearly nation. And every single World Cup, it'd be quarterfinals or semis or just the last, or the last kind of group stages. And everyone would call them the nearly. Generation after generation would come in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s. And every time Spain played, it was like the nearly. Well, what happened was they kept moving forward. They kept developing their football philosophy. They kept trying. They kept, look, let's try. Let's keep going. Let's keep moving forward. The tiki-taka football philosophy. What happened? They didn't just win the Euros. They won the Euros, the World Cup, and the Euros. No team has ever done that before in the history of football. That is a great example for you. It's a great example in keep moving forward, keep trying, but I failed. Keep trying, but I failed. What is failure? Is the opportunity to learn something new about yourself, about your craft, about your personality, about your character. We've all done it. We've all made mistakes. Keep moving forward. You know I love that saying, but there's a principle, there's a powerful principle in that. When you do decide, say for example, when you do decide to move forward, know that it's done in small steps. It's never going to be a big, huge step. You're never going to break a world record or do something. You're never going to go, look, someone said to me the other day, Steve, you're doing 40 seminars. And I said, yeah, but it doesn't come overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. I've been doing Silat since I was a kid. It doesn't happen overnight. Slowly, progressively, line by line, people get to know you. You can't make big steps. How? Every 24-hour cycle for you is an opportunity to progress. Every precious 24-hour cycle. And I always say to people, every 24-hour cycle that comes your way has enough in it to develop if you're open and aware and you can see. It has enough possibilities, opportunities for you to develop every fiber that you need to fulfill your plan, your vision, your purpose, your dream. I promise you, it's in your 24-hour cycle. You don't need to look outside of that, okay? Small steps. You've got to know that you are equipped. When I say that your 24-hour cycle, I want to also say that you have enough on the inside, your creativity. You know, a lot of people, when they do things, they think, oh, I want to do things slightly different, or they're afraid to do slightly different. But that's what creativity for. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you unique. If you tap into your creativity, you're tapping into something very powerful. You're tapping into your imagination. Look, but most people don't want to go there because normally when you go into yourself and you see something that is different, it's not like the norm. So you've got to break a few rules sometimes, and people don't like that. Look, if you go to a gym and you train differently, in the beginning, people are going, yap, 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 yap. I've never seen, he moves like blah, 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 blah. Sooner or later, they'll see results and they'll go, wow, you know that guy that was, yeah, it's different. But that's you, that's what makes you you. So your creativity, your imagination is your individuality, which is what makes you special, what makes you unique, what makes you different. It's what sets you apart. So that's a very, very powerful thing. Keep moving forward every 24-hour cycle. with what you have, with the way that you see things. Don't be afraid if it's different. Don't do things your way. Have the trust and the faith to really know that what you have inside is enough. Stop letting people tell you that you're not enough. I always call it the not enough syndrome. Going in your, like messages, thoughts in your head saying you're not good enough, you're not enough. You are enough. Everything that you have is enough. You're enough. You're enough. You're enough. And put that to an end. Because I hear it all the time. I just, and it's, you're enough. Finally, the fear of failure. The fear of failure. What is failure? Failure is pain. I've said that to you. But failure is an opportunity. Failure is an opportunity to observe what you've done wrong. That's what it is. Or sometimes failure is admitting that someone's just better than you, and that's fine. That happens in life. You can only give what you give when it comes from a pure heart. When you know that you've given from here, that is when you call it, that's enough. When you say to yourself, look, I've given this, that's enough. Whether you win or lose, it makes no difference. Everyone, of course, likes winning. People like big rewards. But it's not about that. It's about your authenticity. It's about when you compete or doing something, it's about whether you yourself at the end of the night have given it here. And that is your honesty. That's your purity. That's your goodness on the line. And that's when you know, look, you know what? I've given everything. And that's the greatest sense of fulfillment that you can have. When you finish a day, or when you finish a week, or when you finish a year, or when you finish 10, or when you finish your life and you say, you know what, I made mistakes, but I gave it my best shot. You know there and then that you are ready. You can leave. You can kind of go, I did it. And that's all you can ask for, guys, or girls. Because some of you are kind of like, some of your ambitions are so high, but it's not about that. It's about what you can give, and in the authentic way that you give it, your honesty on the line. A really powerful principle that. Don't let this year be like last year. You know what I mean by that. This tomorrow, now, this present moment now is an opportunity for you to look at your year and say to yourself, you know what? I did some things last year that weren't so good. I could have done better. Now, time, draw the line and say, this year, I'm going to do them better. That if that means you becoming a better father, a better husband, a better friend, it doesn't have to be these great big, New Year's resolutions. It's just you reflecting honesty, reflecting honestly and saying, I'm going to make 2016 better than it was last year.